Great to be here with you guys. Honestly, such an honor, such a pleasure.
Great to be here.
Thank
Huge
you.
fan of each of you, huge fan of the series, so it's wonderful to bring it all back to Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
So great. So I know Chris McHugh, what should I call you?
Whatever you
Who
like.
likes to be
whatever
addressed?
you're comfortable
Mr.
calling.
McQuarrie. I know for 6, the idea was originally spawned by this idea of Tom wanting to learn how to ride a helicopter. What was the seed of the idea that helped spawn Dead Reckoning and helped it grow into this massive 2-part series?
I think we were taking everything we learned from all the previous missions and applying it to this one. And we always start with, what do you want to do in this one? And in Fallout, it was about the emotions that we had discovered in Rogue. And in this, we wanted to build upon that. That's why it ended up as 2 parts. We knew that the more we explored character, the bigger the movie was going to get. So we didn't try to limit ourselves to just one movie. And then more simply, Tom wanted to ride a motorcycle off a cliff and I wanted to wreck a train.
Boys and toys.
It's really kind of how it's, yeah, we're kids in a sandbox.
Yeah. I guess because of what De Palma did, you couldn't convince him to do the helicopter into the train. Exactly.
If there were any way to do it practically, I definitely would have done it.
Okay, maybe for part 2.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, as well. But there is also like a jovial spirit to this as well. And I know Benji's obviously been a huge part of that, but I think you add something wonderful, Hayley, in creating this sort of, I think you kind of reinvigorate it with this kind of joyful spirit, this kind of playfulness with Tom. So talking about building that character, like did you find things in cinema history that were helpful, or was it really just about connecting with Tom and letting the playfulness awake on its own?
Both. I mean, the 5 months of training previously from getting the role to then even turning up on set was a full-time sort of study of lots of different kind of disciplines. So from driving to foundations of mixed martial arts to find her fighting style, sleight of hand tricks. It was, and through that, McHugh and Tom and also Wade Eastwood, our stunt choreographer, looking at what certain pressures or circumstances or skills, what kind of qualities that was drawing out of me that would land on camera. And so sleight of hand kind of came out of that and was sharing an origin story with Ethan Hunt. But then one of the kind of joyful experiences is getting to watch loads of movies with Tom and McHugh, and references like What's Up Doc, Paper Moon, The Sting, The Train, Shane, all of these films that are, cross-genre, brilliant movies that were also things like Thomas Crown Affair, To Catch a Thief, and looking at a cat and mouse kind of quality between the protagonists, and that sense of fun and levity that comes out of almost a sibling relationship where they are exasperated by each other, but circumstance and pressure are forcing them to have to be together, whether that be inside a Fiat 500 or on a shared mission. And so from that, we're just kind of finding in the moment, with all this preparation involved, it meant that also there was a lot of freedom to play. So when it came to being inside the car in a 2-shot while handcuffed to each other, we'd known each other's, I suppose, rhythms within playing the characters up until that point, so we could just try things. And there was a lot of trust there to be able to just be in sync with each other and work off each other.
It's wonderful. Yeah. And Palm as well. There's so much physicality in this role. And so there's that amazing look that you have towards the end with the smoky look. Talk to me about building this character and building those looks. And
the makeup, you mean, with the teardrop?
Yeah, I feel like you do a lot with your. Is that a spoiler?
No, I don't think so.
You do that with the physicality, but just the look that you crafted with his character is just really striking, very iconic instantly.
I mean, it was like a collaborative process, and I think it was like such a different character from all the other female characters in the franchise as well. She has a good side of her that is a little bit punk, and insane as well. And few words and almost like, the emotions like boiling under the skin and under the eyes and ready to explode, And of course, a lot of training, so physicality, tiger ready to be unleashed and fight. And at the same time, I was inspired by characters characters, like male characters actually, that speak less, or characters like Jean-Paul Belmondo, for example. I was like watching older movies, to get some inspiration as well. And for the makeup with the white, kind of like white-ish makeup with a teardrop. Everyone was supposed to go to to a club, to a masked party in Venice, and I thought that my character wouldn't wear a mask, and I did that years ago in Paris. I was invited to a party last minute, and I didn't have a mask, so I actually drew a mask on my face. So I thought the character would do that. And I was inspired by Pierrot Lunaire, this character from Commedia dell'arte, and I thought that would like bring something a little bit like melancholic and weird, and actually it really worked with the fight scene, because with the sweat, the makeup is dripping, and then the character looks like a monster, So it was interesting to bring some kind of like emotion with just also the looks and the makeup, and
Yeah, it's so good. I was like, there's the action figure right there. Boom.
Next year's
Halloween
Halloween costume.
Yes, I'm going as Paris.
It feels like it's a character from almost different movies. Like what's happening here, So that was fun to get to do that.
You are definitely in your own movie.
And Simon, quickly, like, obviously you've, I think, become more of a homebody as a person. You're with your family. Why do you pair so naturally with someone who wants to throw themselves off a cliff or through, mountains with a helicopter? Like, how does this connection so natural?
Well, it's just sort of, we're yin and yang, me and Tom. I'm very happy to just hang around with my dogs, and he's very happy to fight wild dogs or, jump off a cliff. Or I don't know, but me and Tom have been, we've known each other for 17 years, and we've developed this thing with Benji and Ethan, this very sort of symbiotic relationship where they sort of need each other, and he's kind of, he's Ethan's Jiminy Cricket, and it's a really fun dynamic to play. And I find my relationship with Tom in real life is very similar, and for me, Benji was this guy who just joined the IMF, and I was this person from England who'd come in my first ever time in Hollywood, so my journey as Benji has mirrored my journey as Simon.
It's wonderful to watch. It's wonderful to speak with you all.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you.
Take care,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know where that wild dog line came from.
That was
I was trying to